Yeah.
Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to get back on the channel. Dan Garber, he's now 6 wins with 2 defeats. And I'm yet fight week. He's fighting Moses Itauma at York Bethnal Green, live on TNT Sport over 8 rounds. And pleasure getting you on as always, mate. And
Yeah, so obviously I've taken this fight at 5 days' notice.
Can we talk about the Nagaloo fight quickly?
Yeah, you can do, yeah. I think that was about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was Feb 3rd in Bradford Centre Court Hotel, and you stopped him in round two with a right hand to the body.
I did, yeah. Second round, I think from like 30 seconds into the second round, it was a shot I'd been working on in training, to be honest with you. Caught him right on the sweet spot. Referee counted him out. So, yeah, it was a good confidence booster, to be honest with you. And obviously, I've got that win. I think my last 2 wins now have both been by knockout.
Yeah.
Obviously, in between that, I've been stopped myself by Tom Carty in eighth and final round back in Dublin, end of November. So yeah, I
No
mean,
shame in that though, because
no,
Tom Carty fought last I think it was on Sunday, and he got a stoppage in round two. So
round two. So yeah, but still taking him the furthest that he's been in with all his opponents. So yeah, uh, to be honest with you, after the fight with Joe, we got a call from. We've had a couple of calls, to be honest with you.
yeah, you've been quite busy with the phone calls wise, haven't you?
Yeah,
Offers.
boxer, and obviously then Queensbury as well. Now they actually offered the Moses fight to me a couple of weeks after I fought Joe, and I turned it down. To be honest with you, basically, well, like I say, boxing's a business. The money that they were offering just to fight someone of that caliber, he's very dangerous. I mean, I think he's in 10 years' time. Oh well, should I say not 10 years? He's still only going to be 29. In the next 15 years or so, maybe. I think he's going to be up there. His name's going to be mentioned alongside people like Lennox Lewis. That's how highly I rate him. I think he really is a special talent. Now they offered me an amount, which just didn't make financial sense. It was less than what I got for Tom Carty. Now I think Tom Carty is a fantastic fighter. Who's going to do great things as well. But I think this kid is special and is a level above what Tom Carty is, and that's no disgrace to Tom because I think Tom's an excellent fighter. So I turned it down. They asked me what I wanted. I asked for an amount, and they told me no way. So I said, fair enough, we move on. So I had a bit of downtime, being on holiday in the meantime, went over to Italy for 4 or 5 days. Ticking over, obviously, always ticking over, keeping fit. You never know when the phone's going to ring, basically. We had an offer to, like I say, to box on a boxer show in May, which is still there as well. But like I say, if I hadn't taken any of these fights, we were booked in provisionally at a box back in Bradford again on a home show on May the 4th,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's July as well. Now, I was just going to start now getting ready for this May the 4th show, basically. And that's when I got offered a fight on Boxer. For May, I got offered that last week for May the 11th, which I
Mm.
am very close to accepting, to be honest with you. There's just a few little things that need ironing out, obviously, and I'm more than willing to take that. Now,
Good fight
this
as well,
game
isn't it?
on the Boxer one,
Yeah.
it is, yeah. Obviously, I won't say his name as yet.
Mm.
Obviously, you know who it is, but obviously, I won't mention it as yet until it does get
Until it
confirmed,
gets
kind of thing.
confirmed, yeah.
Yeah. And then last Friday, we got a call from Queensbury. Would you be willing to fight Moses next week? I asked them how much they were offering. Now they offered an amount, I turned it down. I says no. I says come back to me. Obviously, they offered another amount. Then on Saturday, I again turned it down. Now this was the amount that I initially asked for on 6 weeks' notice. Now I says to him, I says, he actually says, I said, when I asked for that amount before, in a way, I thought it was a bit disrespectful of them because they laughed when I asked for this amount. And they were like, not a chance we're going to be paying you that, basically. Like I said to him, at the end of the day, I said, you've come to me for the fight. I haven't come to you asking for this fight. You've come to me. So they offered this amount, what I initially asked for. I turned it down. They tried to throw they put some tickets in there for me, basically, a nice amount of tickets that I could sell and keep the money for myself. They said, I turned that down. Then they offered a bit more on the Sunday. I turned that down again. Now, I knew they had a foreign opponent lined up and his visa had fallen through. So they weren't going to get a foreigner in now, basically, on such short notice. And there's no one else in Britain willing to take it. And I think anyone else in Britain as well. Like I boxed in an 8-rounder against a high caliber opposition like Tom Carty. Now, if you look at the other guys who were up and coming, who are like 5-0, 6-0, who aren't signed with big promoters, they've not boxed at any real level yet. This is the third unbeaten opponent I've taken on in my last 4 fights. So obviously they've seen I've boxed Tom. I've been 8 rounds with him. They offered another amount yesterday, which were nice. I again turned it down. And then they offered a figure that I couldn't turn down, basically, which were a lot more than that I initially asked for.
Yeah, and especially only on a week's notice as well. You would expect
exactly.
more money from like a 6-week camp than a 1-week camp. You would expect more money because it's shorter notice.
Well, exactly, and no one's willing to fight him.
He's one of the most avoided fighters out there at the moment.
100%, and you can see why. I think his last 4 fights have all ended in first round. He was unbeaten as an amateur, world and European youth champion, and a 3-time national champion. I've been seeing that he's been sparring 10 rounds with Joseph Parker and more than holding his own over in Dubai in training camps or Saudi Arabia or wherever it was. So yeah, like I say, I've always said when we've done these interviews before, boxing for me it is a business. They offered a figure that I couldn't turn down. But like I say, when I boxed Tom Carty, they gave me a good 6-week notice for that. I was in the best shape I've been in, and I did the 8 rounds. I've had 5 days notice for this. Now, I'm not feeling any nerves, to be honest with you. I have nothing to lose at all. No one's expecting anything. The fights are still there going forward for me. This isn't going to make any kind of difference to TV fights going forward because I know I've taken this at such short notice, basically. So, like I say, coming down Friday, and all I can do is just give it my all. At the end of the day, it's heavyweight boxing. It doesn't matter who you are.
One shot can change everything, my friend.
One shot, any guy who's weighing in at over 16 stone, one shot on your chin, and it can be lights out. It doesn't matter who you are.
And of course, yeah, I mean, you're coming off a knockout win as well, so I suppose that gives you even more confidence.
Exactly, yeah. Anything can happen, especially when you've got them little gloves on. You could sustain a cut, anything like that. I mean, you have to look at when Tyson Fury fought someone like Otto Wallin. Wallin were an unknown quantity, really. They're expected to be an easy fight. He ended up giving Tyson Fury his hardest ever fight. And obviously, we all saw the cut, what happened in that fight. So anything can happen, especially in heavyweight boxing. So, it's just, to be honest with you, and to have him on my record as well, it's, it's like I say, I think he's going to the very, very top.
Yeah, I mean, he's been tipped to be the next heavyweight world champion. He's a good fighter, but of course, he's been knocking his opponents out in round 1. He is good, but I think you are 100% his toughest fight to date.
Yeah, on paper, yeah. Today you've got to probably say, yeah, I am, but then you've got the other swing of it where it's the notice that I've had for this fight. It's 5 days, and obviously people who don't understand boxing don't really probably realise that.
Like offered the fight, so you were sort of, I would say you did know of this fight in a way, but when it's been fully cemented.
I knew, like I said, I knew of it. Like I say, 6 weeks ago when they offered me it, and I turned it down. I never thought it. Obviously, if they would have offered me this kind of money, I'd have snapped their hands off straight away. I'd have took it for less money. But like I say, the amount I asked for, they told me no way. but I've ended up getting more money than what I asked for now. Do you know what I mean? So
Bonus.
yeah, it's a strange one, to be honest with you, because when I boxed Tom Carty over in Dublin, if I'd have won that fight, I think I mentioned it before, I was tied down to a 2-fight contract with Matchroom, where I had to give Tom a rematch for a certain amount of money, and then Johnny Fisher's name were in that contract as well. Like, you had to fight him basically for if you beat Tom again for another amount of money. Now, in hindsight, this sounds daft, but the best thing that could have happened to me was losing that fight, because I'm still a promotional free agent. I can box on any network, and I've ended up getting more money for this fight than what I would have got if I were tied into that contract with Matchroom. And then there's another TV fight to follow if we want it.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of fights out there. I mean, that you've been getting offered, and
Yeah,
there's still good. There's just good fights out there. I mean, and with this one, no risk, no reward, isn't it? Every time
exactly.
you fight on these promotions, it's no risk, no reward. The pressure's on the home fighter. Yeah.
100%. So yeah, like I said, there's no pressure whatsoever on me in this fight. I mean, no one's gonna be remembering me, really. Do you know what I mean? In like years to come, I don't think. But obviously, this guy, like I say, is going to be really at the top, and he's going to be firing on all cylinders. Don't know what to expect with him, really. I've seen a few of his fights. Sometimes he comes out fast, looking to blast you. Sometimes he shows his boxing skills. So I've got to be prepared for everything, really, on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think, he would look at that, Carty fight, and, probably try and make a statement, because,
Mm,
you took Tom 8
yeah,
rounds, and of course, there was only 15 seconds left of that fight, so you could have finished
yeah,
that fight. I mean, I know we spoke about that before, but yeah, I think, you took Tom 8 rounds. I think he might, try and make a statement and get you out
yeah.
earlier.
Well, I think that's what is expected to do. To be honest with you, I mean, if I went and lasted 8 rounds on 5 days' notice, probably wouldn't look very good on him. End of the day, let's just say in hindsight, he did get me out of there in a round or two. That's what he's expected to do on 5 days' notice for an opponent. So, like I say, I'm prepared for everything that he's going to. And I know, like I say, I know what he's. There's this. I've got a plan A and a plan B, and we can just see on the night. Hopefully, I've just got to give it my all. And I think at times probably have to make fire with fire, basically, and let the man's go and stand with him, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, do you believe this will be your toughest fight on paper? Do you feel it'll be a tougher fight than the Carty fight, or see
Oh,
when you're in there?
this guy will be the best guy that I ever fight in my career, full stop. That's how highly I rate him. Uh, and like I keep going back to it, and on 5 days' notice, it's it's an uphill task as it is. Even giving you 6 weeks' notice against someone like this, like I've said, I rate Thomas Carty, and it's no disrespect to Thomas. And I've just previously said, I think he's going to have a great career, and he's going to win titles, and he's going to go on and possibly fight for world titles. This kid is going to dominate the division. You've got to think about it. 5-6 years, there's going to be no Anthony Joshua, no Tyson Fury, no Uzi. All the heavyweights are in the mid-30s. It's going to be these kids coming through. It's going to be this kid, Jared Anderson, possibly Daniel Dubois. They're the boys that are going to be mixing it for the titles. But I think it will be this kid who's coming out on top.
Mm. Yeah, so as you said, no nerves for the fight.
To be honest with you, no. Be different when I get down there, obviously, and we meet each other, at the weigh-in and stuff. That's when it'll start to kick in, obviously. But I'm more nervous for the Tom Carty fight because I had so much notice for it. Massive occasion as well over in Dublin, with Matchroom, on such a big stage as well. So I've nothing, like I said, there's nothing to lose. Nothing's expected of me whatsoever going down here on short notice. So no, there's no real nerves, to be honest with you. Just want to go down now. I'm as fit as I can be. I'm always ticking over, So I'm fit and ready. So yeah, we'll just got to see what happens on Friday night.
Do you feel like do you feel like they're overlooking you, and do you feel like him and his team think it'll be an easy night's work?
100%. Like when they initially offered the fight and I asked for an amount, basically they laughed and said, not a chance are we going to pay you that, basically, to get knocked out in like a round. So I thought they were disrespecting me a little bit, to be honest with you. I was coming off a knockout win and I'd been 8 rounds with Tom Carty. Before that, I'd beat an unbeaten opponent in first round who were 3-0 or 4-0.
Mm.
So if they give me plenty, why they couldn't have just give me what I had? It wasn't a massive amount that I was asking for. It was just more than I got for the Tom Carty fight, which I thought I deserved now because I'd been there. My name had been put out there now. It's a dangerous fight as well. They had the money to pay it, and they didn't want to. So obviously, then they've come back to us a week before because they're struggling them for an opponent. Offered me the amount that at first they didn't. They offered me a bit lower than what I asked for. Then they offered what I did ask for, and I just kept saying no, it's not going to be happening. And then obviously they offered me a figure, and I accepted it.
Are you gonna? Of course, you made it really awkward for Tom Carty. Are you gonna
Yeah.
try and make it as awkward as you did for Tom for Moses?
Uh, to be honest with you, probably not. No, because he's probably been looking at that fight and thinks that's how I'm going to fight, and he's probably been speaking to Tom because I see him like the sparring partners as well. So it's probably going to have to be. Well, I know what I'm going to do. Be a different game plan. And when I fought Tom, I was at my fittest. I had a proper camp. You know, I had Christmas off. I came back into it for a 4-rounder. And it's no disrespect to Joe Naka Vulavu, who are boxing
He's
stops.
tough, isn't he? Though.
He's a tough kid, yeah. It would a 4-rounder, obviously. I got back into training in New Year basically, and I say I had a good 4 week, which were enough time really to get in shape for that a 4-rounder basically. But now we're boxing a kid who's up here in an 8-rounder on 5 days' notice. So, but it's like my uncle always says to me, who he would a former professional himself, you've got to be you've got to be in that gym all the time. You never know when that phone's going to ring. So obviously it's come a week before. So yeah, I'm as fit as I can be, given the time scale, etc. When I've been in the gym previously when they offered me for that week, for that 2 week anyway. Road work were getting done. Upped it a little bit on that. When they offered me it initially on the Friday, I knew they'd come back, so I stepped the training up. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
So how's
and
preparation been?
I think it's been as good as it can be for a fight. Well, like I said, there's no real time, to get. It's not a camp. It's me being ticking over, and I'm always in the gym anyway. I love going to the gym anyway and keeping fit. Whether it's running, swimming, lifting weights, boxing, I'm always doing something. I'm always eating right as well. And I don't drink, I don't smoke. So yeah, I think I'm as in the best shape that I can possibly be with a time scale given for this. So yeah, we're just gonna go have a go, and that's all we can do.
Yes, mate. Of course. Can we expect a fire sort of fight, or do you not want to give too much away, or?
I don't want to give too much away, but I think there's gonna have to be a point where, yeah, that's what we're gonna have to basically. That's what's gonna have to happen, basically. But then again, I'm a southpaw. I don't think he's boxed a southpaw yet himself, has he? As a professional,
Yeah.
no, don't think he's boxed anybody who can move like me either. But then again, I've never boxed anybody as good as this guy either. So it evens itself out in that way. I've got to try and make it awkward for him, and basically drag him into them later rounds if I can.
Yeah,
I know
because
he's
of
going to
course
be.
he hasn't done those later
No,
rounds, has he? Because maybe, I mean, you see it how it goes when you're in there, but potentially you could take him to those later rounds, and that could play a factor in your hands, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. You're never going to get any favors on the as an away fighter on these shows. He's the superstar with Queensbury promotion. He's fighting in Saudi Arabia on the Usyk Fury undercard for his
Mm.
first title, which is a WBC youth title, which has been sorted for him. So 100, yeah, the 100%, they're going to be overlooking me and just thinking it's going to be an easy night's work. But I don't think I'm an easy night's work for anybody, to be honest.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll give him a good go.
Do you feel like this would be fight of the night? Of course, it's a stat card top to bottom, but yeah, do you feel like this is the fight to watch? And what time do you think you'll be on?
Uh, well, I don't know who's top of the bill. Is it Willie Hutchinson who's top of the bill?
Oh no, I think he's co-main. I think it's
Yeah,
Chris Porthy, Ash Lane for the
British, and yeah.
British
So
title.
I think we're going to be on round about 8 p.m. To be honest with you, fight at night, you've probably got to look at them boys who are fighting for British titles. Probably, they've both had the notice. They've both had probably 7, 8 weeks. They're going to be at the top of the games. So you've got to probably say that that's going to be a fight of the night, basically. But I'll be going there to give it me all. And 100%, I want to cause an upset. If I cause an upset, look what it does to me. It skyrockets me.
I mean, your stock would go up like that, wouldn't it?
100%. I mean, it went
I
up
mean,
losing
win,
to Tom
lose,
Carter.
draw this fight, your stock goes up either whatever the
100%.
result is anyway.
100%. TV networks know I'm game on 5 days' notice to fight anybody. And if
And
this,
you're getting all these offers
yeah,
anyway, and you'll still have offers whatever happens with this fight anyway.
yeah, that's it exactly. So I've still got offers going forward, win, lose or draw, no matter what happens. The worst that happens, and fair enough. I just say, let's in hindsight say I did get beat. Not saying I will, but if that does happen, there's still the fight with Boxer there for me. If I want it in May, they're aware I'm taking this fight at such short notice, so it don't impact that whatsoever because it's like 7 weeks away anyway. So yeah, like I say, just fighting someone like this only raises your stock. You look at my record, they'll say I've got Tom Carty on my record, I've got Moses Itauma on my record. It's doing no harm whatsoever with my career going forward.
100%, mate. What can fans expect from you this Friday?
This Friday, like I say, I'm gonna give it my all and like just meet fire with fire, basically, just let them hands go. And hopefully we land one, on that chin, and let's test his chin. I don't think it's been tested yet as a professional, has it? To be fair, I mean, I'm sure he takes a good shot. He trains with all the big boys, sparring, but sparring. I don't care who you spar with.
Mm,
You can spar with anyone. I've sparred with top guys, top names.
yeah.
Sparring is sparring. There's nothing like on fight night where the nerves are there. You've got them little gloves on. All that pressure's on him. And at the end of the day, even though he's that good, he's still only 19. He's still a boy himself, really.
So,
I
so were
know
you open in a way your man strength, and you could hoping to be too much for him?
you've got to try and old man him on the night, really. Make it awkward for him,
Rough him up, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think there's any point trying to be too cute with him, trying to have a boxing match with him. He's just going to walk you down, basically. If he does that, once he gets a sniff, that's it. He's just going to take you out, basically.
Mm.
But they're probably looking at it thinking, oh, he's got a week's notice. You know what I mean? They've looked on my box record. He boxed in February. His next
I mean,
box.
that could be their sort of. I mean, because they gave Carty 6 weeks notice. They could have given you short notice and go, oh, he's beaten him on this much. He's beaten this guy quicker than Carty
Yeah,
beat him, and like say that's a good statement with
yeah,
your week's notice. So they could try and play that. I don't know, but you get what I'm trying to say in a way.
yeah. I think for them, they're in a no-win situation whatsoever. To be honest with you, do you know if he beat me early, all they're going to say is, well, that's what you're supposed to do with a guy taking it at 5 days' notice. If I take him to them later rounds like I did Tom, they're going to then start saying, well, you should have blasted him out earlier. So he can't win either way, really. Do you know what I mean? Even if he if he lost, he's going to, obviously, the criticism he's going to get is going to be unreal. But at the end of the day, he's only 19 as well. so he can come back from whatever, basically.
Mm.
But if you're going to beat this kid, you're going to have to beat him now, because he's only going to get better and better and better. That's the thing.
Yeah. I agree, mate. Yeah, but yeah, so I forgot what I was gonna say, mate. Oh, before I let you go, as always, Dan, do you want to thank manager, trainers, sponsors, friends, family, just people who support you in general?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank my manager, Glenn Banks, for getting me this opportunity. He's been great for my career. My sponsors, which are DBG Construction, and obviously my family, who always support me, from day one. So yeah, looking forward to it, and we'll see what the night holds, and I'll probably see you there myself. You're going to be there, aren't you?
Yeah, mate, I'll be there,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah, I'll have a chat with you there then.
Yes, mate. Good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you on Friday. And
Yeah.
from me, mate, as always, good luck with the fight. All the best.
Cheers, mate. Speak soon. Thank
Bye,
you.
mate.
Cheers.